Mitchell and Cameron discover lice crawling on Lily's scalp. They know Claire is in the middle of a high-stakes sales meeting with a major client. Instead of calling her, they choose to hide the infestation to avoid a confrontation. Claire sits across from Jim Perlow, her scalp itching with increasing intensity. She begins to scratch her head with a pencil, her movements becoming jerky and erratic. The client watches as her professional demeanor collapses into a series of strange physical tics. Mitchell eventually arrives at the office and pulls her aside. He admits that Lily is infested and that he intentionally withheld the information. Claire realizes her own brother has allowed her to become a walking contagion in front of a career-defining lead. Her fury is immediate. Moments later, the family's longtime rival, Gil Thorpe, enters the room. He begins to mock the Dunphys with his usual arrogance. Claire spots a tactical advantage. She encourages Gil to give Lily a piggyback ride. Gil lifts the child onto his shoulders, bringing his hair into direct contact with the lice. To ensure the parasites migrate, Claire uses Phil's True Feel head scratcher device. She presses the mechanical massager onto Gil's scalp, forcing the insects to transfer from the child to the rival. Gil remains oblivious, laughing as the infestation takes hold. Claire watches the insects move. The business deal is compromised, but she has successfully weaponized the parasites to dismantle her enemy.
Mitchell sits across from his friend Brett, who lifts his pant leg to reveal a surgical secret. 2 silicone calf implants bulge like grapefruits beneath his skin. Brett demands absolute silence. Mitchell gives his word. The pact is made. Mitchell returns home, but the secret is a physical weight. Cameron tracks his husband's every move, sensing a leak. To deflect, Mitchell opens a game of words with friends on his phone. He uses the digital board to bait Cameron, spelling out words like implant to trigger a confession. The psychological wall cracks. Mitchell leans in and whispers the truth. Cameron's resolve lasts seconds. He picks up his phone and types a mass SMS. The gossip leaves the house and enters the family network. Within minutes, the entire social circle is notified. The secret is no longer a confidence, it is a broadcast. At a student photography exhibit, the family gathers, but no one looks at the art. They stare at their palms. The room is quiet, but phones vibrate in unison. Claire notices Mitchell and Alex exchanging frantic texts. Jay watches Gloria hide her screen. The digital trail leads back to one source. The confrontation turns physical. Mitchell snatches Cameron's phone. Claire grabs Mitchell's. They scroll through the threads and find the same mocking messages about Brett's legs. The game was a front for a coordinated betrayal. Trust collapses in the middle of the gallery. They stand in a circle, staring at the evidence of their own indiscretion. The devices have mapped out the reality. In this family, privacy is dead.
Gloria Delgado Pritchett enters the history classroom carrying a tray of empanadas. She aims to secure the single junior Congress trip to Washington, D.C. for her son, Manny. Her rival, Dr. Donna Duncan, arrives immediately after with an elaborate gift basket for the teacher. They exchange thin smiles. Donna calls Manny Mario and questions his ability to fit in. The open house becomes a direct competition for the teacher's favor. The conflict moves to the gymnasium. Cam, the PE teacher, ignores school policy and puts on a cowboy hat. He assumes the role of dodgeball cop. He senses the hostility between the parents and decides to exploit it. He divides the room into 2 factions, the Hatfields and the McCoys. He signals the start of the match with a sharp whistle blast. The game turns into a hunt. Gloria and Donna move across the court with calculated aggression. They do not aim for the floor. They throw with professional force. They eliminate other parents one by one, clearing the gymnasium until only they remain standing. Every throw is a physical release of parental anxiety. The game ends in a physical collision. In the aftermath, the aggression disappears. They confront the reality of their behavior. Gloria explains the pressure of being an immigrant mother. Donna admits the exhaustion of being a single parent. The palace intrigue dissolves. They recognize they are both using their children's achievements to mask their own insecurities. They leave the gym as allies, bound by shared stress.
Phil and Jay sit in the bleachers, radiating desperation. They demand a victory from Luke to settle a personal grudge against Gil Thorpe. The wrestling match ends in seconds. Luke is pinned to the mat, defeated and humiliated. The family's pride is shattered. Later, at a burger shop, the tension remains high. Gil Thorpe gloats at a nearby table while Phil and Jay stew in silence. Across the room, the rival kid catches Luke's eye and makes a choking gesture with his hands. Luke interprets this as a mockery of his failure on the mat. He snaps. Luke charges across the restaurant and slams into the boy from behind. He locks his arms around the kid's chest in a violent grip. Bystanders scream, expecting a brawl. Then, a piece of food flies out of the boy's throat and hits the table. The room falls silent. The kid wasn't mocking Luke. He was actually suffocating. Luke's aggressive attack has accidentally functioned as a life-saving Heimlich move. The narrative shifts instantly. The assault is rebranded as a heroic intervention. Gil Thorpe is forced to thank the boy he was just ridiculing. Phil and Jay seize the moment, claiming a moral superiority they did nothing to earn. In the car, Luke admits his only intention was to retaliate for the perceived insult. His father and grandfather listen, then decide to bury the truth. The Dunphy family leaves with their reputation restored, winning a psychological war through a lucky act of violence. Mitchell Pritchett begins his first day at the Center for Justice. He finds a note in his desk drawer that says run. A second paper follows with a sharper warning, get out or you will die. He observes his boss, Wendy, shouting at a staff member and physically attacking a vending machine. Mitchell concludes he has entered a toxic workplace. Wendy instructs him to groom Rex. Mitchell spots a small, unkempt dog in the hallway and assumes this is his assignment. He spends hours in the utility room, scrubbing the animal while convinced he is being humiliated by a tyrant. He decides to lead a rebellion. Mitchell interrupts a formal board meeting, carrying the wet dog. He delivers a prepared speech, calling Wendy a cold, emotionless thug who treats people like animals. The staff stares in silence. Wendy stops him to clarify the situation. Rex is not the dog. Rex is the long-haired male intern sitting directly across from Mitchell. Mitchell has spent the afternoon watching Pixie, the office mate, while the actual intern sat ignored. The outfit argument Wendy had earlier was about a specific business dinner, not a character flaw. Even the run note is explained as a joke regarding the broken vending machine. Mitchell's attempt at a moral crusade collapses. He stands in front of his new colleagues, clutching a damp pet, realizing he has mistaken a human professional for a canine. The tyrant was never the problem. Mitchell's own lack of observation was. Phil presents a luxury RV named Jolene to his family, promising a perfect summer bond. They board the vehicle and head toward the coast. The narrow cabin quickly turns into a pressure cooker. Family members trade insults over personal space and noise. A stray bee flies inside, triggering a violent chain reaction. In the panic to kill the insect, the children swing wildly, striking each other and shouting. Phil nearly loses control of the steering wheel as the cabin descends into physical conflict. He eventually pulls over to the side of the highway, convinced the trip is a disaster. He stands on the cliffside, watching the ocean, while his family remains trapped in the silence of the vehicle. The physical confinement finally forces a breakthrough. Luke breaks the tension by admitting he is failing algebra. Alex admits her boyfriend dumped her on the same day. Haley reveals she failed her audition for the Lakers girls. The masks of perfection fall